Here's a little easier Loveline type thing. Anna, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, we're good. Are you on with Nikki Sixx?
What?
Nikki Sixx is my guest. Strikers away. We're having a good time here. What do you want?
Oh, sweet. My question, my roommate has genital warts, and she and I share a shower.
Right.
And potentially, like, bars of soap. And I was wondering if that could be a problem, if the disease was, like, transferable through that.
No, not that I am aware of, not that I've ever heard of. But I have two questions. A, why haven't you gotten the Gardasil vaccine?
Fuck, I don't know.
Was that the F word blurted out there? Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll put you on hold for just a second while I ask some more questions. Hold on here. Just in case another F or S should slip out of those lovely lips.
Yeah.
Number two, really, Anna, are you sexually active?
Yes.
Okay. So you already have the wart virus, almost undoubtedly. Doesn't mean you couldn't get infected with another subtype. The bottom line here is go get the goddamn vaccine, okay?
Right.
All right. There you go.
So what are you saying, that everybody has the virus in them?
About 50% of people, and particularly in that sort of college age, it's above 50%.
Okay.
There's two subtypes that are responsible for most of the cervical cancers, and the vaccines now nearly completely protect you against that.
So does it dissipate as you get older?
It can.
It can.
Or the ones that persist, though, are the ones that are associated with the cancers.
Understand.
And men can get anal cancers from it, and men can get penile cancers, and there's even now evidence that head and neck cancers.
Right.
Smokers who drink and have been exposed to the HPV are at especially high risk for the cancers.
Wow.
Nice, huh? Good times.
Good times.
Blah, blah, blah. Here is Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey.
Calling from Boston?
Yep.
Nice, kind of late.
Yeah, I know.
What part of Boston are you calling from?
Southeastern Mass.
Southeastern?
Southeastern.
I'm trying to think where you're talking. You're the Cape?
Yeah, almost, yeah.
Okay. So what's up?
Hi, Annis. First, Nikki, Motley Crue's awesome. I'm definitely going to check out the book now that I heard about it.
Thank you.
Drew, you mentioned a few weeks ago, I forget how to pronounce it or whatever, but basically it was a hair-pulling disorder.
Yeah, trichotillomania.
Yeah, I've been pulling out my eyelashes since I've been about 8 or 9.
Ouch, you still have eyelashes?
I've been trying to kick the habit, and I almost did last summer. But
no, but I mean, how do you even still have them? Well, eyelashes don't come back very well.
I don't know. They come back, though.
Eyelashes, not eyebrows.
Not eyebrows, eyelashes.
Huh. Okay.
But, I mean, the doctor basically just said when I was younger, just to stop, use a stuffed animal. But, I mean, none of that ever helped, and, I mean... Yeah.
Do you have any other obsessive-compulsive qualities? Do you need rituals, and do you, flip switches all up and on? Do you go back and check if the oven's on even though you know it's off, that kind of thing?
No, not really.
Okay, so it's just the hair pulling.
Yeah.
And you're okay otherwise? No other depressions or substance problems?
No.
Okay. This problem is there are behavioral treatments for it, but really the best treatment so far is high doses of antidepressant, serotonin reuptake inhibitors. You have to use like 2 or 3 times the normal doses it would use just for a mood problem, and it takes up to 6 weeks at least for it to work. This is a very difficult problem to treat when it becomes deeply, deeply established, as it is in your case.
Now, okay, so he's pulling his eyelashes out.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that, you said?
Since he was 9 or something.
Since you're 9, how old are you?
I'm 19 now.
So has it spread to anything else? Anything else is not necessarily obsessive compulsive stuff, but pulling any other parts of your hair or anything, or is it just the eyelash?
It's just that. I mean, I kind of tried like eyebrows or whatever, but like everything else hurts. So I just
eyelashes sound worse than everybody else.
I was going to say, well, maybe it's kind of numb there now.
It's dulled over time, but.
So what is that? How does that?
Trichotillomania. It's a thing in the brain that starts firing off, and they don't stop it unless you interrupt that circuitry.
And it could be just one thing.
It's usually just eyebrows or eyelashes or a spot on the hair.
Right.
But they can take all the hair off also, and it can be very tough to treat. But there are various ways to do it, and some people just learn to live with it because it's so hard to treat in some people.
But it's got to be like a Tourette's or something where it's
in that spectrum.
It's actually painful to not blurt out.
That is correct. It's in that spectrum.
Yeah.
It really is. Leah.
Hi, how are you?
We're good. What's on? You're
down with.
I finished it. I was working on this TV project until last week. I finished it now. I'm more myself, but my brain is still not. Yeah, my brain is still not right yet.
So it's Nikki.
Oh,
you're on with Nikki Sixx.
Details on that, because whenever it goes on, I'm going to get cable.
Oh, my dear, this is going to be an extraordinary event. I got news for you. But what's happening?
Well, I want to know how somebody can be a heavy drinker for decades and be in completely good health.
They can't. That is not possible. They may look to be in completely good health, but they are not. Their immune system doesn't function normally. Their sleep patterns are not normal. Their brain is not normal. And their liver is not normal. Now, not everyone that drinks heavily, particularly males, for a long period of time has to get irreversible liver disease. But it's not possible. Basically, alcohol is a poison to all human tissue. It's the only drug of addiction and abuse that really is actually a poison to all tissues, really. So your body cells don't produce proteins normally. They don't reproduce normally. They tend to die more easily. And there's all kinds of consequences. So he is not the man he would be if he were not drinking. Now, on the other hand, alcoholics addicts are amazing survivors. They put themselves through unbelievable stress and just come on through. They're unbelievable survivors. So they usually are substantial specimens, and that's kind of how they get away with what they do, too.
Yeah, it's interesting to me when a lot of my friends that drink really hard and have been for a long time, I notice it coming out in little personality traits, extremely defensive, snappy, things that when you see them maybe take a little break from it, you see those things disappear because
restless, irritable, discontent.
Yeah, exactly.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Because I mean, chemically, you're all messed up.
Yeah, you're not yourself, and your motivational systems are off. Your primary motivation, rather than your family and your job and survival, is your drink, and that's really at the basis of this disease. And where do you think at 17 Leah ought to go to help deal with this?
At 17 years old. But who's
her dad?
Oh, obviously Al-Anon.
Al-Anon.
Yeah, Al-Teen, Al-Anon. But definitely learning to, does it bother you?
Yes.
A lot? I mean, does it change,
absolutely.
does it affect your days?
Absolutely. I don't live with him anymore. My parents are divorced.
Yeah, but still.
I mean, your dad.
It's still your dad. I mean, for me, in my experience, it's been letting go of the outcome of other people's actions has allowed me to get on through life. And we know what's really bizarre is when you sit there and worry about somebody else on and on and on and on, you get sick, and they just keep doing it. They don't change. You just get sick. You feel horrible. You don't get on with your life.
And I gotta say, Leah, the thing that I have seen have the most significant impact on getting somebody to deal with their addiction, really above everything else, there's two things in the patient that I've seen. One is
I know what you're going to say.
Well, one is near death. One is they nearly die. Two is disgust. That can generate some change. But three is a close family member or important relationship in Al-Anon. That has a dramatic impact on you ending the dance that person has been relying on to maintain his addiction your whole life. And when that dance ends, they feel it. And it ends when you go to Al-Anon and get a sponsor, okay?
And by the way, they don't like it.
They don't like it at all.
They do not like it when you change, and that's something you're going to have to deal with, too.
Did your recovery start with a near-death experience, or did somebody haul your butt in, or 12 rehabs later, kind of got the message?
No, I've been through rehab twice. Before this book was written, so in 85 I went through for heroin. Yeah. But, they really put me in there at the time. I mean, things have really changed since 1985.
In terms of treatment?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's really different.
Yeah.
I went in, I believe they put me on clonidine, and, I went through the withdrawal. I'd already been into like a 3-day withdrawal anyway. And I got out, and then I went back to drinking and blah, blah, blah. One thing led to another, and then we ended up with the heroin diaries. So, I don't know. For me, it was, I had to really, I think, in December of 87 and having that, almost fatal overdose, that scared me. But I kept trying to find other ways to fill that hole inside. It wasn't until later when I really got sober that I dealt with the issues, and that's what helped.
Excellent.